Ladies and gentlemen, today let's talk about something that touches our lives in more ways than we often realize: trust. Trust is the foundation of relationships, from family and friends to business and beyond. It's that invisible yet powerful force that binds us together, allows us to feel safe, and fosters open and honest communication. However, trust is not something to be given lightly or carelessly, especially when it comes to blind trust. Blind trust can be dangerous, leaving us vulnerable to deception, betrayal, and harm. It's crucial to recognize the importance of discernment in building trust so that we avoid the pitfalls of placing trust blindly. Imagine a situation where we take everything at face value, accepting others' words and actions without question. This approach may appear to simplify life, saving us the effort of constantly analyzing situations, but it also leaves us exposed to manipulation. When we trust someone blindly, we relinquish control over a part of our lives, handing it over to another person, sometimes without truly knowing their intentions or motives. In doing so, we risk falling into traps of betrayal, exploitation, or even harm. History, literature, and our personal experiences are filled with tales of trust misplaced and the lessons that come from those experiences. In personal relationships, blind trust can lead to heartbreak, pain, and a loss of self-worth. Love and friendship thrive on trust, and we often want to believe the best in those we care about. Yet, even in the closest of relationships, people can have hidden motives or make mistakes that impact us deeply. Blindly trusting someone does not allow room for the reality that humans are flawed and fallible. We all make mistakes, and even those with the best of intentions can falter. By trusting with discernment, we allow ourselves to remain open but also protect our emotional well-being. Let's consider the workplace. In professional environments, trust is fundamental to teamwork and productivity, but blindly trusting a colleague, manager, or even the company itself can lead to significant consequences. Colleagues or superiors may act in self-interest, prioritizing their personal gain over the welfare of others. If we follow others without questioning motives or actions, we may inadvertently compromise our own ethics or become complicit in questionable practices. We've all heard stories of employees misled by promises of growth or advancement, only to find that their trust was taken advantage of. Analyzing situations, asking questions, and ensuring that trust is earned is essential in such settings to protect our professional and personal integrity. Now, let's turn our focus to social dynamics. In our digital age, we are constantly bombarded with information from various sources: social media, news, influencers, advertisements, and more. Each source is vying for our trust, seeking to convince us of a particular perspective or product. Trusting information blindly without verifying facts or understanding the agenda behind it can have a significant impact. This can lead to the spread of misinformation, damage to our beliefs, and misalignment with our values. Propaganda, fake news, and other forms of manipulation rely on people's blind trust. By questioning and verifying information, we become more discerning consumers and responsible citizens capable of making informed decisions. Financially, blind trust can be disastrous. Investment fraud, Ponzi schemes, and financial scams thrive on people's willingness to trust others without proper investigation. Many victims are ordinary people who trusted blindly, convinced by a charismatic individual or persuasive scheme promising high returns with low risk. These individuals or schemes exploit trust, often by creating a sense of urgency or exclusivity. Trusting blindly in such cases leads not only to financial loss but also to a breakdown of one's own confidence in making sound decisions. Learning to research, consult trusted advisors, and recognize red flags is essential to safeguarding financial well-being. On a societal level, blind trust in authority figures, politicians, religious leaders, or public figures can lead to far-reaching consequences. Throughout history, people have followed leaders or ideologies without question, often to tragic ends. Trusting authority is necessary for societal order, but blind trust can lead to abuse of power and even oppression. People who trust leaders without questioning their motives or decisions can be easily manipulated, sometimes persuaded to act against their own or others' best interests. Citizens play a role in holding leaders accountable, ensuring that power is exercised responsibly and ethically. This begins by questioning, understanding, and making informed choices rather than following blindly. To be clear, I am not advocating for a life filled with suspicion and doubt. Healthy skepticism and discernment do not mean distrusting everyone or avoiding relationships. Instead, it's about striking a balance, being open and kind-hearted, yet aware and vigilant. Trust is invaluable, but it must be earned over time, built on a foundation of shared values, honesty, and consistency. By trusting with discernment, we set healthy boundaries that protect our emotional, financial, and social well-being. The journey of learning whom and what to trust is also about developing our own intuition and critical thinking skills. Building self-awareness and listening to our instincts can often alert us when something feels off. At times, our hearts may want to believe, but our intuition warns us to proceed with caution. Trusting ourselves first and foremost helps us build resilience, empowering us to make choices that align with our values and goals. This self-trust provides an anchor, ensuring we do not rely too heavily on others' guidance or validation. When trust is carefully nurtured and based on experience and evidence, it becomes more meaningful and resilient. In relationships, mutual trust creates a bond that weathers challenges, misunderstandings, and hardships because it is built on a genuine understanding of each other's strengths and flaws. In the workplace, trust that is earned fosters a collaborative environment where people support each other while maintaining accountability. In society, trust based on accountability and transparency leads to stronger communities, better governance, and progress towards shared goals. In conclusion, trusting someone or something is one of life's greatest acts of faith. However, as powerful as trust is, it must be balanced with discernment and wisdom. Blind trust is like walking with our eyes closed, vulnerable to falling or being led astray. By opening our eyes, observing carefully, and making informed choices, we protect ourselves while still allowing the beauty of trust to flourish in our lives. When we choose to trust wisely, we build stronger, more authentic relationships, safeguard our well-being, and live with a greater sense of confidence and peace.